Somali people are some of the nicest people. Every time I go to my Somali friend's house, his family call me this really cool nickname. They call me a Jareer. I don't even know what that means, but I should probably go look that up.
Africa, the largest landmass of black people in the world. But would you be shocked if I told you that anti-blackness is persistent and prevalent on that continent? Let's take a deeper dive into this topic by exploring the word Jareer by our Somali brothers and sisters. Welcome to J-Wave's Corner, a channel dedicated to controversial topics in Africa. Before we start the video, like, share, subscribe. Let's get into it. We'll start off by defining the word, reacting to videos, and looking at circumstances at which this word is used. And finally, we will determine if it is anti-black or not. Sit tight and let's get into it. So what does the word Jareer mean? Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Yes, Jareer is a word, but it's not a derogatory word or a slur. Just like the word fat is just a word, but you can also use it to body shame someone. I see this word being used in a derogatory sense. I think it's about time that I explain the meaning of it. How are online trolls who have never been to Somalia, don't even speak the language, or who are not even Somali going to use this word in a derogatory term?
First off, if you have to use trolls as an excuse for the meaning of a word while defining it, that should give you red flags. Let's continue.
When there are people who are proud to be Jareers. That's not even including the hundreds of audios that are celebrating Somali Bantus and Jareer wins. This says I am a strong Jareer win. Somalis and Somalis would be ashamed to see how you guys are using the word, especially when you guys don't even understand Somali history and politics. Historically speaking, Somalis descended from two major groups, and each group has clans and subclans. There are the Somali Bantus and there are the Somali Kushetic. I'm going to explain the Somali clan system in another video. Just know people like to conduct business with their own clans, and minority clans face disadvantages. There are more minority clans in here than here. Somali is an ancient language. We have a lot of descriptive words based on physical attributes. Jareer means African with an afro hair, just like Indayar, which means Asian, which literally translates to small-eyed.
Well, fortunately, I understand Somali history and politics, and Jareer does not mean African with African hair. All it means is kinky hair. It is a descriptive word for hair. The Somali Bantus are not part of the Somali clan system. The Somali clan system are for the Cushitic people. Let's not pretend. She tries to embellish this whole thing, but it makes no sense to me. And then she tries to justify the use of the word by talking about small eyes, description of Asians, which is also derogatory and disrespectful. It is just what it is, be it language or not. There are some parts of our cultures and languages that we have to let go as time passes. And I believe that this Jareer word and these other descriptions that are very derogatory need to go. And it's just what it is. We have to go with the times. There's no way to justify using this word. But let's also react to this other video.
The most popular product in Somalia right now.
This right here is the epitome of anti-blackness. Jareer knows fixer. See, you can't make any excuses for things like this, right? Because what does it imply? That having a wider nose is a bad thing. So now you need clips to try to fix the nose, right? You need to put the nose in place. So you put the clips over your nose. See, this right here is what shows you that Jareer is not a good word. It's not a term of endearment by any means. You see what I'm saying? But let's keep going. I agree with this brother right here. But the real question is, why are the people that use the word Jareer obsessed with using the word? Or obsessed with those people that they call Jareer? Because that's the real question. We're not obsessed with Somalis. We are obsessed with the fact that they are obsessed with using that word on us because of they have an obsession with us. And I'm not talking about all Somalis, of course. I'm talking about the ones that use that word derogatorily. I do understand that the Bantus might have taken that name on, but guess what? It was forced on them. It was forced on them. They just took it on like the N-word and now have pride in it. But guess what? Us that are not from there, we don't need to accept that word. It's just the facts. Next video.
Yes, Jareer is a word, but it's not a derogatory word or a slur. Just like the word fat is just a word, but you can also use it to body shame someone. I see this word being used in a derogatory sense. I think it's about time that I explain the meaning of it. How are online trolls who have never been to Somalia, don't even speak the language, or who are not even Somali going to use this word in a derogatory term when there are people who are proud to be Jareers?
So I made a video about the anti-blackness within the Somali community, and the comments under that video have been absolutely atrocious. One user tagged TT Drama Layla, the creator I just showed you, because she had obviously made her own video about what Jareer means. In my video, I said that calling Bantus Jareer is a slur. There's a couple of issues with the video that Layla made. Number one, claiming that it's only trolls on the internet who are using this word as a slur. That is absolutely categorically false. Throughout my comments, you see people admitting that their families use it in an anti-black way. You see a lot of people also calling me one. So we know that it's a commonly used word to refer to Bantus in a derogatory way. And no, you don't need to know Somali or understand the full, complete, contextualized history of Somalia to understand that that is a slur. Just like I don't need to know full Arabic to know that Abid is a slur. Even though Abid just means slave, when used against black people, it is 100% a slur. The other problem with her video is actually towards the end, which confirms everything I've been saying about why the usage of the word Jareer towards Bantus is problematic. Let's watch.
Jareer means African with an Afro hair, just like Ingayan, which means Asian, which literally translates to small eye.
The usage of the word Jareer is to describe an attribute that differentiates Somali Kushites from Somali Bantus. And the attribute is the hair texture. But we know that descriptor doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It's laden with history and historical connotations. Some people might say that Jareer means people with 4C hair, and others might say that it means people with rough hair or coarse hair. These are all negative descriptors, just like how nappy is a negative descriptor. Now, a black person might call their own hair nappy, but that's completely different. Just like how a Somali Bantu might describe themselves as a Jareer, that doesn't necessarily mean that other people can call other black people who aren't even part of that clan Jareer. Somali Kenyans use the phrase nywele ngumu, which means hard hair, and it's basically a literal translation of Jareer. In Swahili, this is absolutely an insult. What is this need to label Bantus as those with hard hair in order to differentiate them from Somali Kushites who have soft hair that is seen as desirable? What is that need driven out of, if not anti-blackness? Especially when we know that describing people's hair as hard is a euphemism for unmanageable, undesirable. And yes, you can be black and have anti-black sentiments. Plus, maybe it's time to stop using small I to describe East Asians.
First of all, West Africans are not Bantu. I do understand that people from the Horn are considered Cushitic, so maybe you have to compartmentalize things a certain way, but I just want to let you know that we're not Bantus. So having Bantu and Jareer going together, it doesn't really work, you know? Like, there are other Bantu people, but West Africans are not Bantu. That's number one. Number two, the connotation in which this word is used is very anti-black, very anti-black. And I'll give you examples on Twitter. Let's just look at a couple tweets. Hibber said, somebody said AFCON being played on Jareer hair texture fields. Can you imagine? That's the African Cup of Nations is being played on Jareer texture fields. It was a joke though. Tell me if that's not anti-black. Next, this person said, Jareer is mixed, damn, but the nose will never get smaller. See, Jareer has a connotation with nose as well. Yeah, it might specifically mean kinky hair, but it has evolved, right, to negroid features. That's what we're seeing here. And finally, just to top it all off, somebody said on Twitter, Jareer is used in a derogatory word, but it's not solely for African Americans, let's not lie. When have you heard a black African person say they're dark white, laugh out loud? Why is it when people call you out on your xenophobia, you either deny it or act like it's deserved? Exactly. And to conclude the video, Jareer is an anti-black word. The way it is used in the West is very anti-black, and there's no two ways about it. So as black people and Africans, we should reconsider when we use certain words. That's it. Like, share, subscribe for more videos, man. I'm going to talk about more stuff. West Africans are not Bantu, and a lot more topics that need to be hit. I'm out.